Your soul is like a spirit, peaceful and deep. Your soul is like a spirit that I never could keep. When I look into your eyes, I know that it's true. God must have spent a little more time on you, on you, on you. A little more time on you. Yo, yo, yo. It's the Juice Man Jabrilly here. And finally, it's been a while since I uploaded 3 days. I apologize for that, but we grinding. I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? I'm a full-time student. So I had to do some homework. I had to grind a little bit. But yo, oh my gosh. Finally, the playoffs are set. The playoffs are set. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. You see, there's so much to talk about. So there's gonna be a flurry of uploads now. The playoffs have begun. They start this Saturday, the 14th of April. I am so ecstatic, man. I mean, I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Ever since March Madness, I've been just kind of like, I'm pacing myself, just waiting for the playoffs, and it's finally begun, man. The regular season's here. What a last year, the regular season. There were so many things up for grabs. I mean, you had, the East. The East was no playoff matchup was set before last night. Last night was the end of the season, so you had a lot of just interesting matchups. You had Denver Nuggets versus Minnesota Timberwolves, and that was to determine in Minnesota, and that was to determine who was going to make the playoffs, who's going to be the 8th seed, and who's going to face Houston. And that was one hell of a match, one hell of a game. Credits to both teams. I mean, the star of that game was Taj Gibson. He was out here locking down Jokic in overtime. Jokic could do nothing. He could do nothing. I mean, it was just an impressive feat of defense. I mean, I gotta give credit where credit's due. I mean, Taj Gibson was the MVP of that game because he locked down Nikola Jokic, and the Minnesota Timberwolves found a way to win. They snuck by. They got the AC. It was to be honest with you, I still think I know Jimmy Butler was injured, but what it tells me from Minnesota is that, Minnesota, you take Jimmy Butler away, this is not a playoff team. And I thought this was a team that really can, obviously when Jimmy Butler was there, they were a top 4 team in the West. Now, you look at them now, it's like, Jesus, when Butler left, you guys were bums. You guys were losing. And now you just snuck in when Butler was back in. Bottom line is, I agree with Jimmy Butler. This team is soft. And I don't know, they have what it takes to even pull off an upset or win 2 games in this game against the Rockets. But a lot happened. This playoff matches are set. I will give you my predictions very soon. I probably will give it to you in the next couple of videos. But I'm going to talk about the playoff matchups and what I see. See, I'm gonna do my best. I'm going to do my best to describe the playoff matchups without giving you my prediction. And let's talk about the Eastern Conference. Let's talk about the Eastern Conference. And let's talk about it right now. I got my laptop with me. Let's talk about the Eastern Conference. Let's talk about the fact that the Toronto Raptors already clinched a spot as the number 1 seed. They already clinched the number one seed. We know that. Celtics are number 2. And I believe the 76ers are 3 and the Cavs are 4. Cavs are 4. That's unbelievable. When we talk about how weak the East is the East that weak? Or let's think about it for a second. Is the East that weak? Or are we just in a situation where the Cavaliers are not that good? Because to be honest with you, you talk about all these things about how, the East is weak and LeBron has to skate through the East. He was only 4th seed. So, but the playoff matches are set. The Cavs are 4th. The Pacers are 5th. They're the shocking team of the year. The 6th team, The 6th-seeded team, I believe, is the Miami Heat. 7th seed is the Milwaukee Bucks. And the 8th seed in the East, which, I mean, the seats were already, like, the top 8 were already determined. You know what I'm saying? The East was either you're good or you were bad. Or you're the Knicks, which you had injuries and all that. So, we let you by. Well, you're like, oh, he's giving Knicks. Whatever. But the 8th seed, I believe, was the Washington Wizards. John Wall came back after an injury. It was a couple months. So, I mean, let's look at these playoff matches. First and foremost, we got to start with, I'm just going to give you a quick roundup. First and foremost, we're going to start with the Toronto Raptors versus Washington Wizards. The 1st seed versus the 8th seed. Now, I'm going to give you my predictions later on, but what I will tell you is this is going to be very interesting. This matchup will all have to do with the backcourts. Toronto, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan. Washington, Bradley Beal, shooting guard. John Wall, point guard. This is one hell of a matchup. And to be honest with you, I could possibly see Washington winning it. Because these teams are very similar. Very similar. Backcourts are outstanding. One of the two of the best backcourts you'll have in the game. But then you got front court guys who are questionable. I like Toronto's roster better. I like their front court better. But man, oh man, I mean, if we're gonna be honest man, it's just a situation where I don't know. Like, I don't know how Washington's bench can compete with Toronto's bench. But again, they have guys who can put up points on the bench. It's just they haven't done it. I mean, I look at Toronto's bench. I look at guys like Fred VanVleet, who, oh my goodness, man. I mean, he is balling out here. OG Anunoby. I mean, guys like this. Guys you probably the casual fan never has heard of. But those are guys who are really balling out there. I believe Norman Powell. Is Norman Powell a starter or a bench player? I think he's a starter. But, I mean, bottom line is, like, these guys are warriors. They come out here and they grind. Washington, they have a bench too, but they haven't been performing. Kelly Oubre, you would think would have a better performance or grow a little bit bigger, have a better year. He's been okay, but like I said before, Washington's playoff tested. Toronto's playoff tested. That's gonna be one hell of a matchup. Then you got Boston Celtics versus Milwaukee Bulls, the 2nd seed versus the 7th seed. I've been telling it last video. I said the Boston Celtics are a first round exit, and I'm not going to. That's the only one I'll give out. Boston Celtics are not going to win this series. I can guarantee you that. With Giannis, yes, the coaching staff is heavily favored on Boston Celtics side, but Boston has no offense, no defense. And the thing about the playoffs is that in the regular season, it's hustling, it's grinding, it's finding ways, outworking the opponent. You can win 45 games by being just good at hustling. In the playoffs, it's about stars. Boston has no stars. They have no closers. Giannis is a closer. I mean, say what you want. I think, to be honest with you, Giannis is one hell of a player. But to be honest with you, I can't be that impressed with what he's done this year when this team's 7th in the East. With all that talent, with all that potential. But to be honest with you, I look at Bucks' talent and the way the bracket structure, they could make it to the conference finals. Or, if they lose in the first round, to be honest with you, yeah, I mean, it's probably because of the interim coach. I don't even know his name, but it's probably due to that. But honestly, I look at a situation where it's like, dude, you have to capitalize this on Milwaukee because Boston's hurt right now. And then we got Cleveland versus Indiana. Not giving anything away, but Indiana is a huge underdog. LeBron James in the first round has never lost in the first round. First round LeBron is like, it's one of the most dangerous sites because he's been waiting for this moment. All this time of slacking around and sleeping and, holding the ball more than often and, padding his assist stats. I kind of kid on that, but, listen, bottom line is like, listen, he's kind of, LeBron James, he's worked his ass off this regular season. To me, he's second in the MVP voting, but, I mean, damn, this team has been really sus. And everybody said, oh, they're going to clean the East. I don't know necessarily if that's the case, especially when you're the 4th seed. You possibly might face Toronto in the second round. Good luck with that. And the last matchup, we got the Miami Heat versus the 6th seed Miami Heat versus the 3rd seed 76ers. And boy, oh boy, I cannot wait for this one. 76ers. Philly fans are all gassed up. I had a Philly fan come in my mentions and laugh at me when I said they weren't going far. Listen, I might have switched on that. I don't know. But what I can tell you is this. Miami's not a team to play with. And I'm telling you right now, I mean, I like Philadelphia's youth. I like Philadelphia's youth and camaraderie. I like how they get together. But guess what? I like Miami's grittiness. And like I said, the only All-Star on the team is Goran Dragic, and he's like the least sexy name of an All-Star you can have. But he's an All-Star. Hassan Whiteside has potential to be an All-Star. Like I said before, the Miami Heat just got guys who can just play. I mean, they don't have talent. They don't lead the league in talent skill, but they can play and they work hard. This is a tough match. I think this could be a potential to be a barn burner. So I'm really liking that. So right now, obviously the early favorites right now, Cleveland the 4th seed, Toronto the 1st seed. We don't know though. I mean, to be honest with you, that's something you're going to have to wait and tune into this Jabrilly channel. But I just want to give you an update that I'm breathing. I'm still alive. You know what I'm saying? It was a while since I uploaded my last video, but I've been working. But guess what? I'm back and I'm ready for this NBA playoffs. And we will preview the West very soon. But yo, that's it for me, the Juice Man Jabrilly. Peace.